Don't worry, I'll get to it later.
Is there bird poop on your window?
Hey there, Busy Bee here. When we were kids, we didn't exactly understand how the world works and would do the craziest things. And today, I want to tell you some stories from my childhood, starting with the one time I probably traumatized an old lady at the supermarket. Now, I was 3 years old, which, funny enough, I was for most of these stories. And my mom and I were in front of a grocery store called Stop and Shop, and to be honest, the name of the store sounds like you're getting mugged, but I digress. She was a very devout Christian and was handing pamphlets and stuff to people to have people join her church. And 3-year-old me was living up going, "A message from the Lord, a message from the Lord," to people. That changed, however, when an old lady walked on by. I'd go up to her and say, "Do you want a message from the Lord?" And she'd tell me no. Well, dear viewer, that pissed off little old me a lot, and I just couldn't understand the answer no. So I screamed at the top of my lungs, "This lady doesn't want a message from the Lord!" Obviously, that startled the lady, and my mom had to get me out of there as I'm a mad 3-year-old going on a rampage. But looking back, that was hilarious. Why would I do that? Now, another time I was out with my dad at Home Depot, and around this time I loved sleepovers. So I'd go up to random people and ask them, "Do you want to spend the night?" Obviously, no one said yes, but that's fine. I was happy. On that shopping trip, there was this beautiful lady who was being friendly to little old me because, well, I liked and still like to talk to people. Plus, I was a friendly little 3-year-old. So, of course, I asked her, "Do you want to spend the night?" Now, most people would say no, but she said, "Well, ask your father if it's okay." And he goes,
"It's all right with me."
Completely stunning the lady. She was flabbergasted and struggling to get words out before my dad told her he was messing with her and she doesn't have to spend the night. Which sad for little me because I love sleepovers and playing with my toys. Still, I love my dad for that. It's so funny looking back that she tried to use my dad to get out of it, and he's like, "Oh nah, time for a little bit of chaos." A bad habit I had when I was younger was whenever I didn't want to eat something, I'd go and hide it. Not in the trash like a normal person, or feed it to the family pet. Nay, that makes too much sense. I had to get creative. So I'd stuff food behind the couch, under the fridge, and wherever I could hide it. Of course, I was found and I'd get in trouble for it, but one of my hiding spots was never found for 6 years, which was underneath this cabinet display case thing. It's a miracle we never got rats or something during that time, and I feel disgusted knowing I did that. And hell, I wasn't going to tell you this story, but my spouse demanded I did it. I mean, I told this of my own free will. I must feel shame for my past actions or something. Now, the final story is the craziest of all. I was visiting my grandparents in Oregon one day, and I don't know why this happened. Maybe my cousins were ganging up on me. Maybe I just had the zoomies. Who knows? What I do know is I took the family dog and walked down the steep driveway and just started walking down the road. My mom and grandparents were washing a car at the time, so I went unnoticed. And I just started walking, happily ignorant of leaving the house, unaware of the chaos I just created. Because, reminder, I was 3 years old. I made it past several streets, heading directly towards the highway. For some reason, no one outside thought it was weird a 3-year-old was out walking the dog alone, but alright. Literally the street before the highway, I thankfully turned right and walked into someone's yard. No one was home, but they had a doggy door which, for some reason, I decided to climb through, crawl up the stairs, and just jumped into a bed and go to sleep with the dog. Meanwhile, at this point, my mom noticed I was gone and was in full panic mode trying to find me, as well as calling the police. Soon after, the lady who owned the house I crawled into came home and was completely shocked to see 3-year-old me curled up in her bed with a dog. Of course, she called the police, and the cops put 2 and 2 together and very quickly brought me back to my mom.
All right, ma'am, is this your baby?
That's not my kid. It looks nothing like him at all.
Okay, well, what about this one?
Oh my god, thank you very much, Mr. Officer.
It's no problem, miss. Just doing my job. All right, come on, Bob. Let's get some donuts.
Funny enough, this isn't where the story ends, because 20 years later, I live in Oregon, and I'm having dinner with my future spouse. And after the waitress served me a few times, she recognized me and asked me if my name is Connor. I confusingly said yes, and she told me that I slept in her house. So I was like, what are you talking about? Then she told me when I was 3 years old, I crawled into her house through the doggy door. And I know that story because my parents told me like 100 times. And I'm like, what? How the heck did you recognize me? Apparently, she ran to my parents a few weeks back, and they showed them pictures of me. So, okay, that's a neat coincidence. What the heck? But, yeah, that's some of the crazy stories from when I was a kid. Tell me down below some of your chaotic stories from your childhood. I bet they're hilarious. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and a massive shout out and thank you to the GOAT, RushLight Invader, for lending me his time. I appreciate you a ton, man. This has been Busy Bee. Peace!